What's going on, guys? Josh from soccerreviewsforyou.com bringing you another outlet shopping video. This time I visited the Nike outlet, the Adidas outlet, and for the first time ever on this channel, I visited the Puma outlet, which was fairly uneventful, but I'm going to show you what I saw anyway. So if you guys do enjoy this series, want to continue seeing it happen on the channel whenever possible, be sure to support this video with a like. And if you are watching for the first time, hopefully you enjoy the content. Be sure to subscribe for more videos, daily videos, on all the latest and greatest soccer gear, plus some outlet shopping videos from time to time. So the first stop on this trip was the Nike outlet store, so I immediately went back to the clearance wall, and to my surprise, there was no extra discount on this day. Usually, it's an extra 20% off, no extra discount today whatsoever, which was a bit of a bummer, but they were fully stocked up, so there was some interesting stuff to see. Now, the first two shoes that caught my eye were interesting because they're actually current colorways from the Lock-In Let Loose pack. One was the Nike Magista Obra 2, which they had in one single size, and the other one was the Nike Mercurial Victory 6DF, a takedown model, again, only in one single size. The Victories didn't actually have a price on the box, and the Obra 2s were actually full price $300. So you're probably wondering, they're full price on the clearance wall at a Nike store. Why are they full price? Why are they there in the first place if it's just going to be retail? And the simple answer to that question, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe you can do this, if you order from Nike's official website, be it Nike.com or whatever variation of Nike.com you have for your specific country, you can actually return items if you need to return or exchange them, mainly return I would think, at a Nike outlet store. So I believe that's what happened there. And instead of Nike's outlet store actually shipping those back to the main Nike hub, they just put them out on the clearance wall at full price, and eventually somebody will buy them. If they don't get bought, they do eventually get discounted, but that's a lot of the times why you see current colorways or very, very recent releases closer to full price at an outlet store, and that's because they're actually returns from the main Nike website. The other soccer stuff they had was actually all older takedown models, which is interesting, but the prices weren't all that spectacular. They had the Nike Hypervenom Felon 2, which of course is the previous generation Felon takedown model, about a year old now. They were on the clearance wall with no extra discount for $60 US, which is about $20 off of the normal retail price. So not very good in my opinion as far as deals go. They had the Nike Mercurial Victory 5 in a really good colorway. Again, previous generation Mercurial Victory. Normally an $80 retail, they were on sale for $65, so only a $15 discount, which is not a great deal at all considering they're over a year old. They also had the Nike Tiempo Genio 2 indoors in the black and white colorway, so really decent colorway. Those were on sale for $40, which is not a bad deal, but the retail price normally would have been like $65, so it's not a super deep discount. And then in the junior section, this was actually a pretty good deal considering the Youth Superfly 5, I believe, would normally retail for $150. They were on sale for $39.97, so that's a really, really deep discount. Super, super cheap for what is, like I said, normally a $150 shoe. That was pretty much it for the soccer stuff, but they did have some interesting sneakers and other kind of just weird shoes that I figured I would show you. The first one is something that I really, really like the look of. I have a few pairs myself, and whenever I post these on Instagram, a lot of you guys always ask what they are. It is the Nike Lunar Charge. These were on sale in two different colorways, both of which I thought were actually pretty decent for $45, and the normal retail I want to say is about $110, $120, but really $40-45 for a nice pair of Nike sneakers is always a really, really good price. No extra discount, so if you wait for the clearance wall to go to 20% off, you can get them for even less. But this is something that I've seen on sale discounted pretty heavily at pretty much every single Nike outlet store. So if you're looking for a nice pair of sneakers for not a lot of money, I think the Lunar Charge is definitely worth a look. They also had some sample footwear on the clearance wall, which is always interesting. If you guys have seen an outlet shopping video of mine where I found a whole bunch of samples for basically $15, $200+ soccer cleats for $15. If you haven't seen it, I'll leave a little pop-up on screen, but that's basically like hitting the jackpot when it comes to Nike outlet stores. So I was excited when I saw a couple samples, but once I looked more closely, there wasn't anything that was all that great, but there still was some interesting stuff. And what was kind of unusual, normally the samples are $40. These ones were listed at $60, so I'm not sure if Nike has done a price increase with their sample footwear. It's definitely very possible, but these also had no extra discount either. So 60 bucks, while it's cheap for some of these shoes, it's not necessarily dirt cheap, like $40 plus an extra 20 or 30% off. Anyways, this first shoe I'm about to show you is interesting because it's not soccer related at all. I don't even know what it's called. It doesn't say on the sample box, but I thought it was a really, really cool track spike. So I'm not sure if this would be for sprinting or if this would be for longer distances on a track, but really, really cool looking. Reminded me a lot of their soccer football lineup with the mid-cut design. I don't believe the collar on this particular shoe, or really any of the upper, was made from Flyknit, but I thought it was a really cool shoe nonetheless. Super lightweight as well, but that's kind of expected out of a sprinter spike. And then the other sneaker that I had a look at that I actually did try on, which now looking back, I wish I would have bought these. It was the Nike Air Footscape Woven. This is a sneaker that normally retails for $190, which I found out once I got back from the outlet store to kind of look it up. I could have just looked it up on my phone. I don't know why I didn't. These were 60 bucks. They had them in a couple different colorways. Super, super comfortable. I know not everybody likes the look of these Footscape shoes, but that Footscape bottom, the midsole, outsole that they put on them, so comfortable. So for $60, these would have actually been a pretty good steal. Would have been nice to have them in my collection. Not that I would have worn them all that much, but that's a sneaker that I definitely wish I would have picked up. I could technically still go back, but they're probably not there anymore. They only had one pair. So that was pretty much it for the Nike outlet store. Next, I went to the Adidas store, which actually had some pretty interesting deals themselves. One being the Adidas X17 Plus Pure Speed in the Magnetic Storm Pack and the Dust Storm Pack colorway of the Adidas Ace 17 Plus Pure Control. These are two shoes that normally retail for $300. They were on sale for half price, 150 bucks, which is a really, really good deal. You can get half price on any shoe, especially fairly recent colorways like those, especially the Magnetic Storm Pack. I thought that was a really, really good deal. With those really good deals, they also had some shoes at full price in the soccer area. One being the Nemesis 17.1 and the Ace 17.1 for their respective $200 and $225 retail prices. So completely full price, not sure why they were at the outlet store, period, if they were gonna be full price. And it's kind of interesting that they had the more expensive one discounted to half price, but didn't discount the cheaper ones whatsoever. No real explanation on that at all. And then the other deal they had in the soccer cleats was on the Magnetic Storm colorway of the Adidas X 17.3, which if you regularly watch the channel, you know that's not a shoe that I'm particularly a big fan of. And $75 is not really a great price either. I think the normal retail is 80 bucks, so it's $5 off. But what's interesting about this deal is that it was buy two, get one free. So this was the only soccer cleat that was participating in that particular promotion. So I think you would have to buy that shoe and then a training shoe or a running shoe or a lifestyle sneaker that was also part of the buy two, get one free. You'd buy two, you get one free. It's pretty self-explanatory, but again, given that it's the X17.3 for $75, I'm not sure that that was the greatest deal in the world. For those of you that are into Adidas NMDs, this particular outlet store actually had a whole bunch available. I'm not sure what sizes they had because they didn't ask. There was none there other than the black ones with the red and the blue little kind of rectangle piece, kind of that OG NMD colorway, but the newer version of the NMD. I'm not even sure specifically what that variation is called. I was very tempted to get those, but everything was full price in the NMDs. None of it was like crazy outlet deals, like $80 for a pair. They were all $150, $160, $170, but a pretty good selection, assuming that they actually had sizes available, which they probably didn't if we're being honest with ourselves. They also had a buy two, get one free sale on some of their apparel. Pretty much all the soccer stuff was buy two, get one free. They had the Tango line apparel, they had some country gear, some club stuff, both current season as well as previous season. So some of it was marked down pretty heavily. Some of it was pretty much full price, like this year's Real Madrid jersey as an example. And they had some MLS stuff there as well. But buy two, get one free if you're looking for some good deals on apparel from the Adidas brand. I thought that was actually a pretty decent sale. I then went to the Puma store, but not because I initially wanted to. I was actually just walking by and they had a particular sneaker or running shoe in the window that I thought was really, really interesting. So I wanted to go in and see it. And sure enough, they had them in multiple different colorways for a really, really reasonable price of $75. And I believe everything was buy one, get one 50% off. But it was the Puma Mega energy knit, if I'm not mistaken. And if you're familiar with your running shoes or familiar with the Adidas brand at all, you'll notice one distinctive element of this particular Puma running shoe, and that is the fact that it has what appears to be a Boost midsole. So I went home and actually looked this up, and turns out this is something that's been available for well over a year now from the Puma brand. And based on what I could feel in hand, I didn't actually try them on, they pretty much feel like Boost. It feels like the same Boost material that you can get from Adidas. So I'm not sure how they're even allowed to do that or who technically did it first. Obviously, Adidas has done a much better job at marketing this type of material and making it very, very popular, because Puma's had it out for over a year now and I didn't know about it at all. Maybe some of you guys who are perhaps more into the whole sneaker scene knew about these, but I thought this was really, really interesting. And considering the $75 retail price versus, as an example, $180 for a Boost shoe with a knitted upper like the Ultra Boost, which is admittedly a very popular shoe, this is kind of a very similar look and composition to the Ultra Boost for less than half price, 75 bucks. So definitely very interesting, and was super curious about this shoe in general. Maybe I'll get a pair in the future and do a review for you guys if you want to see it. As far as the soccer cleats are concerned, they really didn't have anything interesting at all, which is usually why I don't go to the Puma outlets, because there really isn't anything to see. They had a whole row of different soccer cleats, and you guys will see the footage on screen. They were all $30 or less, and it was buy one, get one 50% off. So obviously very, very cheap, but it was all the very cheap models within the Puma lineup. Basically the equivalents of like the $50 to $40 retail price shoes that I guess if you're really serious about playing, you're gonna be willing to spend a little bit more money and you're gonna buy a more high quality shoe. This was all kind of very entry level type footwear and stuff that's really geared more towards beginners who just want a cheap pair of soccer cleats because they're learning to play the game. They don't want to spend a lot of money on shoes. That's kind of what they had within their selection, which, like I said, is usually what they have at the Puma store. I always go to check, but there's never really anything interesting to show you guys. Since I was already there though, I figured I'd show you. Anyways, guys, that is it for another outlet shopping video, episode, whatever you want to call this particular series. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to support it with a like. Of course, if you have any questions for me at all or any suggestions, leave them down below in the comments, and I definitely will do my best to get an answer out to you as soon as I possibly can. Subscribe if you haven't already for daily videos on all the latest and greatest soccer gear. You can find all my social media information linked down below in the description as well. And other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video, and as always, thanks for watching.